Hi, I'm Kenneth WAJDA. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado, and welcome to another one of my photography talks. Today I want to talk about the approach to photography. So yesterday at sunset I had a family portrait scheduled by a family in Colorado, and I had picked out this rock wall that I know is accessible from my studio real close by. And I had gone and checked it out and saw where the light was, and I brought a camera and tripod and reflectors and some other light modifiers, and I had it all figured out. And then I had a second location, which was a hillside that had some fall colors, but not a lot, just sort of a little bit. And I kind of envisioned a certain way I would shoot that. And the family arrived, and I went over to the first location, the rock wall, and there were gates preventing us from driving in. And I know the owner of the property, and they have weddings over in there, and they have said, you know, it's okay if you want to photograph in there sometime, but with the gates closed and not being able to drive in, I didn't want to have them trekking all the way through to get to it. So I said, let's go to location number 2. And so we did. So sometimes photography is figuring it out after things don't work out. And that's exactly what happened. And when we got to the location, it's amazing to me how, you know, my first instinct is, okay, find a rock, get them seated, start moving them around. But I try to create angles. There were 4 people, 2 children and 2 adults. I try to create shapes, whether it's a diagonal, whether it's a diamond of heads, whether it's you know, some kind of a combination. But some of it you just don't know. You have to literally watch it and tweak it and make it work and move it and change it. And I'll put some links to some of their photos in the comments below, but you'll see it's like, to me, as much as I can pre-plan for things, as much as I can, or any of us can go and say, this is exactly how I'm going to do something, the real world will get in the way sometimes, and you'll have to modify your plans. And the second series of shots I did on the river wasn't even part of my plan. I wasn't planning on shooting at the river at all, but there was a tunnel under the street between the side we were on shooting the first series and getting over to the second side, and the kids wanted to run through there. They ended up by the river, and there was some sunlight down there, so it's like, okay, let's go shoot some there too. And those worked out really well. So it's an interesting perspective to me that, you know, even back as a photojournalist, there were so many times that I would spend the night before a big assignment thinking about how I was going to shoot it. And in the morning, it was nothing like what I had assumed it might be like. It was nothing like my head had planned it. And the truth was, I had to just go forward and find the photo. And the way to do it is to be there and find the photo while you're there. And that's exactly what I would do, and that's exactly what I did yesterday. And I love that about photography. It's like you have to think on your feet. You have to be able to move forward and come up with that photograph. And it's a development thing. You start with this, and then you move it, and then you tweak it, and you make it better, and you add light, and you change their positions. And nobody has to see the startup shots. There's a part where you have to just get clay on the table and move forward. And that was what I started with, but then I started to make it better and stronger. And the photographs that ended up from that shoot I'm really proud of, and I think it's probably the most rewarding and important work I do, even more than commercial work, is photographing and documenting families and saving those times as a young family so that when they're older they'll have those photos to remember, and future generations will too. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button and I'll bring you some more. And comments are always welcome too. Thanks so much for watching.